Tonight, I have the high honor and privilege of introducing our keynote speaker, General Ray Odierno, the 38th Chief of Staff of the United States Army. General Odierno was born and raised in the great state of New Jersey. He began his military career over 40 years ago when he entered the United States Military Academy at West Point. Since graduating from West Point with a commission in field artillery, he has served in times of peace and in times of war. He has commanded units at every level. His duty stations have included Germany, Albania, Kuwait, Iraq, and several locations throughout the United States of America. General Odierno deployed during Operations Desert Storm and Desert Shield, and again during Operation Iraqi Freedom. During Operation Iraqi Freedom, General Odierno commanded the 4th Infantry Division from April 2003 until March of 2004. He later served as Commanding General, Multinational Force Iraq, United States Forces Iraq, from September 2008 until September 2010. Prior to assuming his current position, General Odierno served as the commander of United States Joint Forces Command in Norfolk, Virginia. General Odierno holds a Bachelor of Science degree from West Point, a master's degree in nuclear effects engineering from North Carolina State University. He is a graduate of the Army War College, and in particular, he holds a master's degree in national security and strategic studies from the Naval War College in Newport, Rhode Island. He also holds honorary degrees from North Carolina State University and the Institute of World Politics. As you can see, General Odierno has an impressive academic, professional, and military record. But equally impressive is his commitment to his loving family, including his lovely wife, Linda, his 3 children, Tony, Katie, and Mike, and his 3 grandsons. We are honored tonight that Mrs. Odierno is able to join us, and on behalf of our organization, I wanted to thank you, ma'am, for your selfless service to our nation over the course of the last 40 years. Those of us in uniform know that without a supportive spouse and family, we could not do the things that the military service calls us to do. So thank you, ma'am. Although I did not mention General Odierno's Italian-American background as part of this introduction, it is an important part of his presence here tonight. Although he is not a member of Alpha Phi Delta fraternity, he represents the best qualities of our organization and our Italian heritage. He is a leader of global significance, whose actions show the importance of love of friends, the love of family, and the love of country. So tonight, as we celebrate our first 100 years and begin the steps of moving forward toward our next 100 years, please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, General Ray Odierno, Chief of Staff, United States Army.
Thank you very much. Please, everybody sit down. Thank you. Thank you. So, what a wonderful evening. Linda and I are so pleased to be here. You know, we were high school sweethearts, grew up in New Jersey together, and we've been through a lot together in the Army, and so I'm proud that Linda's here by my side this evening. I have a few observations before I start my formal remarks. First, what a beautiful room. You know, I go to lots of events in this town, and this is probably one of the most beautiful rooms I've been in. I think it's historical. It gives the old sense of the old country. It is really quite an incredible room, so I'm so pleased to be here. The second observation I have is this is the first event I've ever been to, an Italian event where usually when you give a microphone to an Italian, they don't ever want to give it up. And I've been very impressed tonight. Everybody's been very disciplined in their comments, so I congratulate all of you for your great discipline. You know, they mentioned I went to West Point, so unfortunately when you go to West Point, there are no fraternities. So you don't have the opportunity to experience something like that. So for me, it's extra special that I have the opportunity to share in the 100th anniversary of really an important fraternity who means so much to our Italian heritage. So I'm so pleased that we had the opportunity to be here. It really is tremendous. I was also touched by the recognition of the veterans here in the beginning. And as I go around the Army and I talk, I always talk about how we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us. And we have to remember that since 1775, 1 year before our country was founded, there was the United States Army. And it's those people who served from them until today that have given us this great country that we have. So it was really an honor for me to see all of those in your fraternity who has served in our military. And I want to once again thank them for their service and their dedication to our country. Dan, I want to thank you for that kind introduction. We both have a lot in common. We're both from New Jersey. He comes from Ocean County. That's probably why he joined the Navy, I guess. I'm from northern New Jersey. We're a little tougher up there. I mean, I don't know. We can't swim, though. But I will say this. What most people don't know is when I was the commander of the 4th Infantry Division, as we were deploying to the division to Iraq, we loaded up ships in January of 2003. We were supposed to actually invade Iraq through Turkey. And we had 36 ships full of the 4th Infantry Division equipment. And so my staff at the time calculated that, in fact, I was the commander of the 5th largest Navy in the Army. And at that time, I gave myself an honorary admiralship. I'd like to begin by thanking Alpha Phi Delta National President Nick Franke, Foundation Chairman Alex Franke, and Centennial Chairman Tony Kafang. Thank you so much for inviting me to participate in this really extraordinary celebration. I also wanted to recognize the Georgetown ROTC, who were the color guard for this evening. They did a tremendous job. It's so wonderful to see such great young men and women who are following in everybody's footsteps. You know, tonight we celebrate the distinguished history of this fraternity and foundation, who include among its members congressmen, governors, CEOs, scientists, scholars, civic activists, engineers, philanthropists, those who have served in the military across many, many services. I think we had over 30 service members here tonight, including Army Colonel and pediatrician Charlie Garbarino. Charlie, it was great having you here, served in Iraq at Operation New Dawn. We are particularly honored by the presence of our veterans, including former Alpha Phi Delta National President Vincent Muffaletto. Sir, it was an honor to meet you this evening as well. As most, I think you know, Vinny was a 19-year-old sergeant in the Army Air Corps when he was shot down over the Baltics during World War II. Rescued by local fishermen, he was imprisoned in the infamous Stalag 17 prison camp near Krems, Austria, until his repatriation at the end of the war. It is great Americans like Vinny who sacrificed so much for what they believed in. And I believe it's something that we should all remember about those who came before us. So Vinny, thank you so much for what you've done. We are truly among family here tonight. And although Linda and I have never met many of you, most of you, frankly, but it is really fun for us to be here tonight. And what binds us together is our connection, the 17 million Italian Americans in the United States. As Italian Americans, we lightly treasure our traditions. But we do it while embracing the uniquely American qualities which bind us together as a nation. We take pride in the prominent role that Italian Americans have played throughout American history as soldiers, statesmen, entrepreneurs in the arts, and in particular, a distinctive feature of American culture, professional sports, with names like DiMaggio, Berra, Marciano, and Lombardi. But the one thing I want you to know that the list, although I won't go through each and every one of them, includes the names of more than 27 Medal of Honor winners of Italian-American descent, the highest award that this country gives for courage. And even most recently, during Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, Sergeant First Class Jared Monti and Staff Sergeant Sal Giunta, two Italian Americans who were awarded the Medal of Honor. These leaders are the heritage of the descendants who sought a better life for their families. They taught us the fundamentals of hard work, the importance of family. And it's organizations like Alpha Phi Delta that have helped to strengthen each of us as individuals and as part of our community, to help us rise above personal hardships and discrimination, while teaching us about living a life of character and commitment to others. Alpha Phi Delta celebrates many of the same core values upon which I was raised: respect and love for one's family and love of country, and the imperative service in order to give back to one's community and defend the rights we have as citizens of this great country. It has been these values which have established for us the foundation to succeed. And I think you all know, as I said earlier, I come from a fairly humble beginnings back in New Jersey. I think about my grandfather Silvio, who came over with his father Basilio from Sarno, Italy in 1899. For 2 years, my grandfather was a junk collector on the east side of New York with only a wheelbarrow to earn his living. But in 2 years, he raised enough money to start his own butcher business. He would tell us stories about living in the Bowery neighborhood on the Lower East Side, where the family became close friends with jazz legends Jimmy Durante and Al Jolson, and the future governor of New York, Al Smith. They all lived in the same building. Can you imagine that? Later on, my grandparents grew tired of the city and decided they would move way out into the country, so they moved 20 miles west into New Jersey to continue the butcher business. But later, my grandfather, who never graduated from high school, obviously didn't go to college, but he was instrumental in establishing the first savings loan in northern New Jersey. But he believed in hard work and his strong beliefs. But he was determined to carve out a better future for his children. He sent all 4 of his sons to college. The foundation he laid and the love of his new country has transcended the generations of our family. My father, Raymond, used to talk about how proud our grandfather was to become an American citizen when that happened in 1916. I will always be thankful for his courage, pride, and example. And I often wonder what he would think if he knew that his grandson, an Italian immigrant, could become Chief of Staff of the United States Army. It's incredibly humbling. Whatever successes I have been fortunate to achieve during my career, I owe to the values instilled by my family and reinforced through a long and wonderful marriage to my wife, Linda, as we have raised a family of our own. But I have continued to serve and to persevere even in the toughest of times because of the soldiers and men and women that I have been fortunate to lead and be led by. I often get asked the question, why have you served so long in the Army? Well, it's because of the young men and women I've had the chance to associate. The soldiers, the sailors, the airmen, Marines, that I have had great privilege to serve alongside. In fact, as we are sitting here today, many of you don't know, and I appreciate the words earlier recognizing all our armed forces, but today there are historic elections held in Afghanistan. You will not read about that in the paper. The reason you won't is because there was no violence in Afghanistan today, because millions of people went to vote in Afghanistan today, because they are getting ready now to select a new government. Something they never imagined they would ever get to do, and that's because of the sacrifice of the young men and women that we've had, where they've turned a place that was filled with terrorists wanting to wreak havoc on the rest of the world, who today held elections, democratic elections, to select the new leaders. That's what our young men and women have done. Our service members have displayed mental and physical toughness, strength of character, and most importantly, courage under fire. They have transformed our armed forces into the most versatile, agile, expeditionary force in the world. None of these accomplishments would have been possible without the support of the communities and the American people. And Alpha Phi Delta is part of that story. As was mentioned earlier, since their creation, more than 1,300 Alpha Phi Delta veterans have served in every major conflict since World War I, including 32 brothers who have made the ultimate sacrifice. And your recognition of our veterans and the creation of a military scholarship program does a great service in educating others about the history of our country's military and the importance of sacrifices and the importance of the sacrifice of those who came before us. It is events such as these that serve to remind me, and should remind all of us, of the great progress we have made in overcoming racial, ethnic, and religious divides within our society, and even our military. And yet we are still mindful that there's still much work to be done. We stand on the shoulders of those who have come before us, who fought for freedom in faraway places, even when their service did not translate into the citizenship and equal rights at home they deserved. Our nation is strong, our military is great, because in every war and every generation, men and women, citizens and immigrants, have raised their right hand to defend the Constitution of the United States. It takes special people to decide to do that, because our nation, our force, is a volunteer force today. People serve for many different reasons, but every one of them are united by their commitment to a cause greater than themselves, to the ideals of this nation, to the freedom and liberty that we have the opportunity to enjoy every day. They choose to do so of their own free will, and gives us the strength of purpose and unity that cannot be matched by any military anywhere in the world. In closing, I have a challenge for all the undergraduate students here in the audience tonight. I implore all of you to use the great gift of education to make a difference. Not just make a difference for you personally, but make a difference to your community, to your country. It's important. No matter what part of society you choose to work, make a difference. Dedicate yourself to something that you're passionate about, and take that passion and do something great. Use this education to make this a better country. I have a chance to travel all over the world, and one thing is very clear to me. There is no nation like the United States of America. There is no nation that allows each individual to rise and perform to the best of their abilities and provide them to the opportunities to do whatever they might want to do. However, the choice to serve others, to give back to your community, is your choice. It is your choice. Do it. It's critical that our military reflect the society it serves. It's critical that our public and private sector leaders reflect the society they serve. We are a nation that stands for liberty and freedom, and we believe that all should be given the opportunity to fulfill their dreams. Everybody in this room has proven this. The story I told about my family, there could be 100 other stories exactly the same that I just told. And it's because they were given an opportunity. It's up to us to continue in this country to give everyone the opportunity to move forward and succeed. Thank you, Alpha Phi Delta, for educating others about our heritage and giving back to the next generation at colleges and universities across America. Thank you for what you do to support our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines. Together in 100 years, you have brought the gift of community to 96 undergraduate chapters and 58 alumni clubs, touching the lives of nearly 20,000 brothers and their families over the years. This is an invaluable contribution to your community. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of your family heritage. Most of all, be proud that you're an American. Thank you very much, and God bless America.